as part of Creature Feature Friday, we are going to run a tactical battle highlighting the danger and tactics of the humble zombie. Now, an individual zombie and a party of 7 level 6 characters, not a big deal. Shouldn't be terribly horrific. I mean, well, obviously it's an undead, blah, blah, blah. But it shouldn't be too difficult. The tactics of the humble zombie, however, drastically change once you start involving uh, large numbers and swarm tactics. So here's the scenario using Forgotten Adventures battle maps, specifically the church cemetery. We have a cemetery with about 20 or so zombies in it, and the party is going to go fight them. Now we're going to set aside kind of the standard, uh, all the stuff the party would do leading up to this. Okay, we're just going to open up this door and start the fight because we're going to actually look at the tactical approach. Now, one of the first things I want to point out is that you have a bottleneck because these stone walls are real stone walls. They're not, iron rod, etc., etc. You have a bottleneck both visually and tactically. So, if we select our guy here, this is what, this is the vision cone of the paladin. Now, it's at night, or at least it's dark, it's foggy, it's rainy. Um, so he might not actually see the zombie over here, or this zombie here. I mean, this one's just a piece of a zombie, smaller zombie. So they're going to blend in. But we have this bottleneck. So if the party wanted to, they could avoid getting swarmed by basically positioning their melee fighters right here and have their ranged spellcasters and their ranger, etc., throw range attacks at them. The downside there is eventually, once your frontline fighter falls, things can get bad. Things can get really bad. So let's see what kind of tactic I'm thinking here. Okay, so we're going to just take the whole group. We're going to move forward. We're not going to be very subtle about this. We're going to kick those doors open. Right? Maybe, just maybe, the rogue will do some stalking. Right? So we'll have the rogue do a skill check. Here we go. Subterfuge. Stalking. Roll. And that's going to give us 162. So the rogue is probably going to avoid being noticed by the terribly unobservant zombies. So we're going to have him move in first. He's going to do his job of scouting. We're going to move the warrior monk forward. So this is our tank base. And we've got our spellcasters here, and we've got our ranger in the back. Now the rogue probably sees this guy. Let's see if the zombie sees the rogue. The likelihood of the zombie actually being remotely aware of our rogue, I would have to roll. Oh, a 99 actually. Shit. Okay, so 88. That's not bad. I like the little graphic there, right? But it was close. I did not see the 99. If he'd rolled, another really high roll, this would have been that rare occasion where the first zombie would have seen him. Alright, so our rogue has managed to come out here. He's going to see a zombie here, 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 basically all around. Let's just go ahead and have the rogue do an awareness check. Right. Not too bad, 103. So yeah, we're going to just say that the rogue is going to be aware of every creature, every zombie that the player themselves spots. What I mean by that is they're probably going to see this one, they're going to see this one, but they might miss some of the smaller ones. The ones that are possible landscape feature-looking things. Alright, so that being said, rogue character obviously translates this information to the rest of the party, and the party gets to decide what they're going to do. So there's a chance this rogue here is actually going to miss this zombie because he's kind of in shadow and he blends in. And unless they specifically want the GM to point out every single zombie that they see, you could just do a whole thing where it's like you see what you see. Right. And if we make it darker, let's actually go ahead and make it like dark. Well, we'll figure that in a minute. All right. The main point here is we want to get into the fight. Okay, so the rogue is going to basically relay to the party, hey, there's a bunch of zombies, what do we want to do? And they're probably, if the party's smart, they're probably going to want to do some kind of defensive line thing and then initiate combat. So if I were the rogue, I would sneak up on this zombie and I would try and initiate combat with like an ambush attack. And then as soon as this combat's done, the rogue is going to run back here and be safe behind party line. So we're going to target, and we're going to short sword him. Flat-footed and surprised. Attacking from the rear is on there. And let's go. So let's see how it's not a very good roll, but there's a lot of bonuses. So this 92, let's see. 17 plus 20. Thrust punctures blood vessel but is stopped by bone. Pain causes the foe to fall over. Blood clot takes 20 rounds to travel to foe's brain where it triggers a fatal stroke. Immunity, bleed, and stun. Okay, so yeah, that's not going to do a whole lot. It is going to knock the guy down. And that's going to initiate our combat. So as the GM, I'm going to just highlight everybody. And I mean highlight everybody. And we're just going to go ahead and initiate combat. And so we're going to bring this over here, put this here, and we will go ahead and begin encountering. So a whole lot of initiatives going to happen. A little sip of tea in here while we're doing this. Alrighty. So the paladin is up first. And I think what the paladin is going to do, we're going to load up his character sheet real quick. I want to refresh myself on my memory of what he has in the way of gear. Okay, so we're going to... Oh, he's got a two-handed sword, Great Blade. So his full shield is useless. Alrighty. Right, so the paladin is actually going to cast a spell, I think. Inspiring ways. I think this is what we're going to do. We're going to cast a sort of a bless, if it works. Spell failure. Damn it. Okay, so we're starting off with a spell failure. Damn it. Alrighty, so that's it for him. We'll go to the next one. Alright, our buddy the rogue. Alright, so he is no longer sneaky. And this is, of course, using Visage. So, I think the rogue is feeling kind of lucky. He's going to try and finish off our zombie here. Let's see what happens. 51 plus bonuses plus the attack equals a crit. A straight up 50. Absolute hit plus 6 to critical. Roll prone. Point passes between forearm bones, passing through skin and scoring muscle. Immunity bleeding. 20 apply damage. Alright, so our little humble zombie here is going to be dead. I don't really have a death thing set up yet with Visage. I was going to say Visage because it sounds so, like, hoity-toity. But we're just going to do this for now. And I think I got to go down here somewhere. This guy right here, we're going to mark him as dead. Alrighty. So the rogue's done his thing, and now the rogue is going to flee. But that is a thing for another round. And that was a full round of action for the rogue. So the rogue is out. I'm kind of playing a little loose with the APs. Alright, mostly because I just want to get the party started. Alright, monk, warrior monk wise. Not a whole lot he can do right here, because he's not got a lot. Doesn't have, actually, the monk should have a sling. I thought I gave him a sling. Yeah, he's got a sling, so it should be. There it is. We'll go ahead and have the monk swing at this already injured, wounded zombie. I have a zombie that didn't have full hit points. Let's see what happens. 81 plus bonuses. A solid hit. And we'll take him down as well. So far the party's doing just fine. Keep in mind, zombies are like monster level 0. So they're not terribly difficult to fight in that regard. Here's where it starts to get a little bit more fun. Right. There he is, down here. Alright, so the fast zombie. Let's look at his stats real quickly. Not too bad there. Conditions, skills, arms. Alright, so he can move 7 feet per phase, 28 feet per round. Alright, so 5 and some change. Okay. I can already see that initiating combat for the whole cemetery was probably a mistake. And I could see, as a GM, I think a tactic I would do to bait the party in is have, like, zombies at the graves, but invisible because they're underneath the dirt. And then coax out a reason for the party to actually come into the grave area, and then spontaneously have, like, zombies start erupting from the shallow graves. Because then you have the party more surrounded. This is actually going to be definitely more in the favor of the party because of the logistics and tactics of this whole thing. So we got another fast zombie. He's going to move 5 feet. Another fast zombie. He's going to move 5 feet. Another fast zombie. He's going to move 5 feet. Okay, slow zombie. Oh boy, 2 feet. Yeah, so in order for this thing to move 8 feet per round, we're going to round that up to go to, that's his whole action. So slow zombies move 10 feet around. This is going to be a lot easier to track not using action phases. You can see that. Which I'm really tempting to do that with my players, given their familiarity with Pathfinder D&D. Okay, slow zombie. So all the slow zombies, I'm going to have them act all together. Like, they're going to do their movements for the entire round right here and now. And then the fast zombies, I'm just going to have them do their fight. Because, why not? Basically, there's a definite movement economy and kind of round management thing. So, like, as the GM right now, I'm doing a whole lot of mob manipulations. This is where you're going to run into a problem where your actual party begins to get bored. Uh, so I'm going to have to think about ways to speed this up. I think... I think I need to think about some ways to... Oh, no, we're back at the top of the round. Paladin. I think we need to think about ways to manage large numbers, horde management, basically. And that might be a good topic for a future tactical onion, is ways to utilize Foundry Virtual Tabletop to manage the hordes easier. Obviously with things like the encounter tracker and all the hit point behind the scenes math that it does, that's one thing. But when you have... You know what? I don't think my whole party got added, yeah. These guys didn't act. I'm going to put them in here. Alright. Sorry, I was just completely random. Hey, what the hell? Alright, so I think there should be... I gotta think about ways to manage horde movement, and there might be some ways to make that more helpful for me. Okay, so here's our paladin. He hears some moaning and brains and all that stuff, but he's gonna hold the line. Actually, I think he's gonna go 5 feet in and kind of position himself in such a way that like the rogue can get behind him. Alright. So, and the paladin tried to cast a spell last turn, so I think the paladin's pretty much done. The sorcerer didn't act last turn, so I'm going to go ahead and give the sorcerer a 5 feet move this way. My dog has, of course, decided to do his traditional, Dad's recording, time to bark. Let's see if I have any spells that could be useful. This could be a fun little thing to do. Possibly get ourselves a light source. Foot range, the caster's hand is closed in a fist, let them turn off. Okay, so I gotta figure out how to do that. Things to set up for later. Footnote. That's just a normal torch effect. We'll call that good for now. Alright, so we've got that. Alright, this is where the rogue they attack and defeated the zombie. So the rogue is basically just hanging out till the next round. Alright, the warrior monk is going to take his 5-foot step forward, and he's going to pivot a little bit as well. The magician, I think the magician's going to move to here. And zombie, we have a zombie going. We got a fast zombie. Where is he at? Oh, right there. Oh yeah, so he's making another 5-foot run for your mother. And by having like fast and slow zombies intermixed, none of these are diseased by the way, but having them intermixed, the party doesn't really know like what to expect. I think the ranger's going to move 5 feet this way. And then, what's the ranger's actual... Cool. Cleric. Okay, so the cleric's going to probably try some kind of... The cleric does not have a whole lot in the way of spells. I have not finished making the cleric clearly. Alright, I'll have to keep in mind of that, because, yeah, that sucks. But the cleric does have a hammer, so I am going to actually position the cleric, keeping in mind it didn't get an opportunity to act last time, so I will just do this. Yeah, the cleric is actually more of a bludgeoning monkey. He's got a big old hammer. So there's the cleric's actions for the 2 phases. Okay, we got another fast zombie. Slow zombie's already gone. Slow zombie's already gone. Fast zombie. It's over here. Slow zombie's already gone. Slow zombie's already gone. Fast zombie traipsing through the graveyard. Right? Okay. Small fast zombie is going to be me barreling towards him. Slow zombie's already gone. Fast zombie. There we go. Slow zombie's already gone. Slow zombie's already gone. Slow zombie's already gone. Slow. And we got a fasty. Where's he at? There. And last but not least, there. I'm definitely thinking that I'm going to have to go to like the 1 action phase initiative economy, just because that is probably going to be what's going to make my players more comfortable. It'll actually speed things up a little bit as well. Alright, so Paladin is going to move another 5 feet. So this is his 3rd move. Sorcerer. I wonder if the sorcerer's got line of sight. I think the sorcerer's got line of sight. Let's look at this. Just barely, and it's 30 feet. So maybe the sorcerer's going to throw out a spell. Flesh destruction. Okay, touch of destruction, obviously a touch spell. Range of 20, range of 100, but it's level 7, so it's going to be hard to cast. Sprain limb, limb pain. I'm not going to use mind destruction because it's a fucking zombie. But maybe we can hobble this boy. Okay. So we're going to have the zombie roll. Oh, essence. Essence resistance. Succeeds. Alright. That's disappointing. Rogue's already acted this round. Weremonk is going to move another 5 feet. Magician. Magician's just going to hang out. Okay, we got ourselves a fast zombie down here. We're about to have our first bit of combat. So, already I'm thinking about, you have the fast zombies that charge up and kind of tie the party down to where they're at, while the shambling horde of slow zombies slowly makes its way in. Alright, so I got a ranger. He's going to have, I don't think he has line of sight. Yeah, he does not have line of sight there. So our ranger's then going to move 5 feet and spin around. So next round he will be able to start plunking down some more arrows, firing through the party, which is always a risk. Okay, so the cleric is going to make a 5-foot step, that's going to put the cleric into combat mode next round. We have a fast zombie. This is where the cleric might start trying to rethink some stuff, because this is where the horde mechanic is going to take over. So definitely seeing the possibilities here of using the fast zombies to lock the party down, and the slow horde to grapple them into oblivion. Alright, we're back at the top of the round. Sorry, the top of the phase. Gotta use the right terminology here. Sorcerer's already active, Rogue's already active, Warrior Monk. He's gonna move right here, positioning himself for a fight. Magician. I think the Magician's gonna move 5 feet for better line of sight, potentially. Now we have our first fast zombie. Okay, so I'm going to have the zombie try and do an attack just because why not? So it's going to engage a wrestling attack. It's already spent 3 AP, so this is probably not going to work out well. Let's try that again. Wrestling. Let's see. Here we go. Ought 9. That is not going to be impressive. That is a straight up miss at -71. Get a fast zombie. We have the ranger. Ranger danger. Okay. I don't know. I'm going to go with partial cover. But I want the ranger to be able to actually fucking do something before the end of the round. Okay, so we're looking at partial cover. And he's moved 3 times, so -75. Ought 3, that is terrible. Oh, a fumble. Things are not looking good for the party at this point. Alright. Cleric. Cleric is going to swing his Warmatic. -3, 2-handed weapon. Let's go. There's some jokes in there somewhere. Alright, so we have ourselves a head strike, doing 11 points of damage. That ends his turn. And now we have a fast zombie, who is very quickly going to be overwhelming the party. Slow zombie's gone, slow zombie's gone. Fast zombie advances. Slow zombie's gone, slow zombie's gone. Fast zombie advances. Fast zombie advances. Slow zombie's moved. Yeah, I'm seeing the shape of horror at this point, which the party should as well, especially since some of the zombies are going to be moving a lot faster, some of the zombies are going to be slower, and they're going to see their fate coming, but quite possibly not. Again, top of the round, so initiative always shakes things up. I was saying, by the time the party realizes their issue or their fate, um, it might be too late. Right? The overeager party could very easily get themselves killed. All right, warrior monk. He's going to first of all, we'll do a strike. Full attack. What the hell? Just get it over with. Foot to face. Foe bowls over. Comical, but not much damage. Alright. Damn. Alright, so he's on the ground, at least. Ranger. He's going to move 5 feet. In turn. Rogue. This is where the rogue is going to start making his moves. Mage. I think the mage is going to try and target a different zombie. Bring up spells. And I'm a big fan of fire. So let's go ahead and see if we can make this guy's life a little harder. Damn. Spell failure. Okay, that's kind of sucky. I think he's just going to abort the spell. Cleric. We're going to try and take out a prone critter. Get our, maybe our first victory here on the ground. Yeah, okay, cool. That is a devastating blow. That's going to take the zombie out. Let's go find our zombie. Here he is. Boop! Dead. Alright, so slow zombie moves full round. Fast zombie. Fast zombie. Fast zombie. Alright, sorcerer. Sorcerer's going to maneuver from line of sight. Slow zombie's going to move full mount. Now our paladin's going to come down here. So we've got kind of this wall forming. But there's this one zombie right here that they've all kind of let flank them, which is going to be a problem. Alright, this is where things are going to start to possibly turn bad. Now, in my mind, my logic, a zombie wants to grapple you so that he can bring you down and attack. Okay, it is a flanking attack. Let's see what happens. 67, this could be bad for the cleric. 20 is not too bad. Okay, so it gets poked in the eye. And he's mildly stunned. That's unfortunate, but not terribly bad. Fast zombie. Slow zombie, where you at? There you go. Slow zombie, where you at? Okay, we're going to move this zombie over here just so he's out of the way. So that's a 5. And then we're going to try and grapple him, making sure to apply penalty because he moved a little bit. Alright, so this is where some of the tactics... Oh, shit, 92. Oh, nice. Thankfully, there's some penalties there. That is a lot of dice. Alright, so Warrior Monk is up first. And what we have here is we start to see the flanking horde take shape. He's going to target that one. Damn, these are not some favorable rolls. I'd like to see something higher. Still, he gets pushed back 5 feet. That's good. Fast zombie, where are you at? There you are. Closing the gap. Alright. Shambles forward. Targets our boy. Tries to do some wrestling. Had to move forward. Let's just go. Yeah. Misses. Okay. Our ranger. Pretty sure you can attack that guy. Now, I'm not entirely sure exactly how useful firing arrows at a zombie is going to be. But you might be able to do some... Oh, he shot him in the junk. Oh, says the zombie. Har har. Alrighty. We have a slow zombie. Slow zombie. And now we have the sorcerer. I think the sorcerer is going to try and take out with what? I'm not sure. Light law. Shock bolt. There we go. Success. We have a crit. Some damage gets done. And our boy is down, so... There he is. Mark as defeated. Next. Alright, Magician. I think he's going to feel brave. And immediately regret that in that decision. Yeah, okay. Paladin. Step. Zombie fast. Yeah, this is where things get interesting. Cleric, realizing he's got some problems. Damn! 40 points of damage. It's a solid hit. Thud, it says. Just thud. And again, immunity to stun, that's a problem for the party. Okay, let's see if we can initiate a full-on grapple from a flanking attack. Roll high, not so much. Miss. Okay. Lucky so far in that regard. But I'm just going to be spamming grapple attempts. Till something lands like this. Alright. It's not too bad. And I guess the other creeping horror of the party is that none of the zombies have bit them yet, and they don't know if slow zombies or if these zombies can inflict some kind of disease. You know, that death that comes days later. Alright, so we're back at the top. Here we go. Ranger's going to start plunking away. That's a solid crit. That's a headshot. 30 plus 4 plus 17. That probably just took him out. Yep. Oh. One shot the monkey. Good shooting, Ranger. Alright, Warrior Monk. Just throwing hands. A 99. Plus 58. Here comes the crit. 38. This might be a 20 plus 26. Alright, that's another good shot. So they're definitely clearing up their threat of getting swarmed. So I think the Paladin's going to move 5. I'm feeling too cocky, maybe. I think at this time I'm going to try the bite. Let's see what happens. 93. Okay, here comes a bite. 10 to the leg. Dodges most of it. Alright. Zombie fast. I think the rogue might try. Alright. We're going to have the rogue pull a weapon. Ah, come on. Alright. So it's -1. Partial cover because he's throwing through the cleric. Let's see what happens. 19. Oh, takes him out as well. Alright. So, with the exception of this one zombie here, they've managed to avoid the first threat of being swarmed. There are still several zombies around. I think we're just going to call it on this. I just wanted to show you some of the tactics. I'm definitely thinking that, like, having a 50-50 mix of slow and fast zombies is really kind of the mix, or kind of the thing to do. Um, I definitely want to work on their grapple tactics and their swarm. So like the fast zombies get toe to toe. Now the party has to deal with that, while the horde of slow moving zombies eventually shows up. And maybe it's something where it's like 1/3 of the zombies are fast, and then 2/3 are slow. So they just slowly head towards the party, and the party realizes that this creepy death is on its way. Um, and then you throw in like disease as a factor as well. Lots of bites, lots of problems there. So I think this party, the way it's set up, will be victorious. If we were to like continue going through this, I think they'd be victorious. There might be a couple that get whittled down. I mean, the cleric's taking some damage. And this is not a party that's optimized for fighting a bunch of undead. It's just kind of a generic quick build party. But I mean, let's look at how many bad guys we still got on the field, right? So we've got this group here. We got this group here. So in a couple of rounds, this group's going to hit him this way. This group's going to hit him that way. So like in two rounds, the party might be hard pressed. They can always fall back to this position here, and then bottleneck the zombies in there. So I think, barring the zombies getting some really fantastic criticals, I don't know, like, I don't know how the zombies could win this fight. Yeah. Alrighty, thank you very much. I will see you guys next time on Dice of the Table Tactical Onion.